At UMC, access to your health care is only a call away. Dial 74-NURSE for free, instant medical advice from experienced and trusted UMC nurses, 24 hours a day. Learn more at umchealthsystem.com.
And greetings, everyone. Welcome into RedRaiders.com. I'm Zach Long. That is Krista Pirtle, and it is time for Texas Tech football topics with Krista as we take a look at the state of the Red Raiders and the Big 12 and the NCAA as a whole. And Krista, we're getting down to the fun time. We've said for a long time November was going to be separation time, and here we are just a week away, and it's going to be a heck of a battle down the stretch in the Big 12 for Texas Tech and all those teams.
We're going to have some great football these next few weeks. I'm excited.
And right now, as we look at Texas Tech, of course, they go to West Virginia this week to take on the Mountaineers and Coach Dana Holgorsen. This is about the last thing we're going to do before we load up and head to Morgantown so we can cover that one for you.
And we're flying there. We're not driving.
We're actually very jazzed about that. If we were driving, we'd have had to leave, on like Monday, last week and start rolling. In terms of the game itself, though, Krista, Texas Tech maybe hasn't even peaked yet. We have not seen the full potential of this football team, or maybe the downside of this football team yet as we head into this West Virginia game.
Yeah, Coach Kingsbury said to himself a few weeks ago that his team hasn't peaked yet, so he's excited to see where they're going to go. And if you look back last year in 2012, Texas Tech upset West Virginia here in Lubbock, then went on to a 3-4 win season after that. And then in 2011, beat Oklahoma in Norman. Lost the last 5 games of the season after that. So you see how important it is that Texas Tech has not peaked yet, because going into this brutal part of the season, it's important that they can still get higher and improve instead of just kind of hitting the downhill slope.
And the biggest difference here is, that 2011 was one of the more demoralizing things I've ever had to cover in college football, when you were so confident and then you lose all those games. Biggest difference for me, though, Kristen, I think you've seen it too, is it's their attitude this year. That's really the Excalibur for Texas Tech, is it's their attitude and their weekly focus, which there could still be some losses coming up, but their attitude puts them in a position to not have, I think, a Tuberville-esque collapse like we saw in 2011.
Absolutely, and Jason Morrow mentioned that Monday in the press conference. He said that the mindset is different. They're going into these games knowing they're going to win, trying not to lose. And if you think, you're like, that's not really different, but it is.
That's a huge difference.
You're going in thinking, if we can just do this, then we might have a shot. But now they're saying our game plan is so great that we can win and no one's going to stop us.
Yeah, if you try to set on an egg and hatch it as opposed to attack, it's usually going to bite you in the butt every single time, no pun intended. And that's something I love about Wallerstedt and the defense as well, is they will fail from being aggressive. They will not fail from trying to prevent things from happening. And that's a huge difference.
Absolutely.
Krista, when we look at the rest of Texas Tech's schedule, and we spoke about this yesterday on the pregame show, the UMC Health System pregame show, and got into a pretty good little spout with Don about how many games we think Tech might lose, and we think there could be some losses coming. Of course, it's a brutal schedule. Let's look at it, though, from a micro-analyzing standpoint. Where do you think Texas Tech could trip up? What are the biggest threats right now?
I think there are 3 that are huge, and right now, Oklahoma and Texas on the road. If they were in Lubbock, I would probably say it would be different, but because those are road games, that's going to be a really tough atmosphere for these guys to go into, and especially, I know that they've played half the season, but these freshman quarterbacks have not experienced. Those are 2 big teams that when people think Big 12 football, it's Oklahoma and Texas, so they haven't gone into that environment yet. And then also Baylor in Jerry World. It is a neutral territory, but I think that can trip them up. It depends on if the defense can stop them, if Baylor messes up. Those 3, I think, are big tripping points. Yes, Tech has Oklahoma State and Kansas State coming to Lubbock, so I think that will give them a good hand up.
But in general, though, all those games there could be a loss in any of those games.
Absolutely.
Even Kansas State, who we were just talking about before we walked in here, they're 2-4, but Daniel Sams is starting to look like a death machine for Kansas State in terms of running the football. They are going to run some seasons down the stretch, and I know Texas Tech does not want to be on that list of getting popped by a 3 or a 4-win Kansas State team, but they are figuring it out, so there's really no gimmies left on the Red Raiders schedule.
Not at all. Coach Schneider has it figured out, knows what he wants to do, but the Big 12, like we've said, all the parity, it's not because these teams are great, it's because one team could suck one week and then another team they're playing that has been on the bottom half can really have its best game. So it's all in the air.
Krista, let's take a look here at why November and end of October and even into the 1st of December is going to be absolutely set the DVR time if you're a Big 12 Conference football fan, because these games, Every week is going to be a storyline development. This is unbelievable how this schedule has worked out.
Yeah, I thought let's find the biggest conference games left in the season and looked and couldn't narrow it down. I mean, we've got at the end of October, Tech at Oklahoma. Then the second, Oklahoma State comes into Lubbock. It's going to be interesting to see how that goes out. Then November 7th, Oklahoma at Baylor. That was before seen as that's going to be the Big 12 Conference title game. Personally, I think that's moved to when Texas Tech takes on Baylor in
Absolutely.
Dallas. Also that day, Oklahoma State goes to Texas. How that one will fare, no one knows. And then Baylor at Oklahoma State, Texas Tech at Texas. I think that we talked about earlier, the Red Raider fans are really anxious to
That's a big one.
stick it to Mac down in Austin. And then December 7th, Texas at Baylor, Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. So really, like you said, there are no more gimmies this season, and it's going to be some really great football.
And it's going to be high drama because every week something's going to happen to where the entire focus changes. And a lot of national media and us locally here, we've been kind of harping on this. It could be easily a scenario where you see a Big 12 Conference champion, 2 losses.
Oh, definitely.
And here's why. It's absolutely unfathomable to sit here and think that someone's going to get through this regimen of games unscathed. I mean, someone might. Baylor and Texas Tech, and even Texas, because they're still undefeated in the Big 12.
They won't die.
They won't die. I mean, there is capabilities of someone doing it, but you just don't see it. Too many tough games.
Yeah, it's going to be really good TV, really good football, and we'll see how it turns out.
And I'll tell you what, one of the direct things that's going to become of this is, who's going to have a real fun job, Krista, is these bowl reps. They're going to have a real fun job because this is going to get ugly down the stretch. A lot of good football teams, a lot of teams that could be close in records. There's going to be a lot of jockeying, and it's going to be an interesting day in those rooms when those bowl reps have to choose who they're going to bring into their bowl games. And you've got a little look here of what you think right now might be a possible lineup for the Big 12's bowl allotments.
Absolutely. We're halfway through conference play. So right now I've got Baylor going to the Fiesta Bowl. I know, it's a shock she picked Baylor to do this, but their offenses looked great. I'm not saying they're going to go undefeated and win. I'm saying that they have the offensive firepower to do it and the defense to step up and learn the game plan, have that knowledge and stop. I think that Baylor can get it done. I have Tech going to the Cotton Bowl. Is that your favorite bowl, Zach?
I'll tell you what, hard to beat the Cotton Bowl. Great experience.
Yep, I have them going there. I have Texas going to the Alamo Bowl, Oklahoma, Buffalo Wild Wings, Oklahoma State, Holiday Bowl, and TCU at the Texas Bowl. I couldn't think of anyone to go to the Pinstripe Bowl because West Virginia, Kansas State,
It's just the schedule, what they have left. We looked at it. It's going to be tough for those two teams to get to 6 wins, and in West Virginia's case, they got to get to 7 possibly because they've got to win over an FCS opponent. So right now, it could be a situation where the Big 12 just does not fill its bowl allotments. And in terms of anybody who's going to get all hacked off over Baylor being set up there, in your opinion, in the Fiesta Bowl, we just said it. A 2-loss team could win the Big 12 Conference, and right now, you honestly go look through Baylor's schedule.
Oklahoma State on the road.
And pick out, 3 losses. It's going to be extremely tough, so it's not really far-fetched to sit there and put. But quite frankly, here's the truth of it, Krista. Look down it. Baylor, Texas Tech, Texas, Oklahoma, and Oklahoma State. Feasibly, any of those teams could end up being your Big 12 Conference champion, and that is absolutely fascinating to me, and that's why I think all of us are really excited to see how November is going to play out with Big 12 Conference football.
It's nuts.
Yeah, but for right now, first up for Texas Tech, they have to survive Morgantown, West Virginia, with Dana Holgorsen and the Mountaineers. We're very excited to get on the road and get up there and report that one for you. Until that time, though, a lot of good coverage over at LubbockOnline.com and RedRaiders.com. Of course, Dom versus Twitter. Everyone loves that. Watch the UMC Health System AJ Media pregame show. You will love our Couch Fire Countdown. And, of course, we'll have our Loving Road Rage segment from Morgantown, West Virginia on Friday. Check back for that one. And, of course, full coverage of Texas Tech versus West Virginia after the game on Saturday from Morgantown. Until that time, this is Krista Pirtle. I'm Zach Long. We'll see you from West Virginia.